Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sarah Barker, and I'm one of the attorneys with the Senior Citizen Law Project at Coast to Coast Legal Aid. Today, we have a very special guest. We have Broward County Property Appraiser Marty Kiar, and he's here today to talk to you about the Broward County Property Appraiser Home Ownership Alert Program. Marty Kiar was elected to be the Broward County Property Appraiser in 2016. He has been a lifelong Broward County resident, graduated from law school at Nova Southeastern University. He has dedicated his career to public service, including being elected to the Florida House of Representatives and the Broward County Commission. Now he has served as the Broward County Property Appraiser for over half a decade. So thank you so much for being here today, Marty.
Oh, thank you so much, Sarah, and thank you so much for the great work that you and the Legal Aid does to the people of our communities every single day. As I said before, I am a very big fan, and I just appreciate y'all so much having me on today.
Thank you. Why don't we start by you telling us a little bit about why the Home Ownership Alert Program was implemented by your office?
So that is such a great question. You know, unfortunately, South Florida is the title fraud capital of the world. And it's the capital of the world because you have criminals, and that's what they are. They walk into the recording divisions for every single county and they file fake deeds on people's properties. And the reason it's so easy for them to do is the recording divisions have a ministerial duty. They have to accept whatever documents filed with them. So you have these criminals, they walk in, they file fake deeds, and they take those deeds and they extort people for money or even mortgage rent or sell the property. And they do it all the time. And so about a year and a half ago, we wanted to give the people of Broward County the opportunity to fight the fraud before the fraud occurs. So we developed a great program in-house, spent no taxpayer dollars doing it, called Owner Alert. And here's how anybody can sign up. If you go to our website at bcpa.net or a very mobile-friendly website, which is web.bcpa.net, you can click on Owner Alert, type in your name, type in your parcel ID number, which you easily grab from our website, and you put in your email address. And if we have your email address on file, you're automatically verified. If we don't, we ask that you upload your Florida driver's license or Florida ID. If you don't have that, we ask that you upload a utility bill or something proving ownership of the property. And then if any document, legitimate or not, is filed changing ownership in your property, you'll be notified instantaneously so you can make sure your title's not clouded and you're not frauded out of your property. It is such a great program. We've had about 180,000 Broward County property owners sign up for this free program so far. And my goal is to get everybody to sign up because it's there to protect their most important asset, their home. I am a big fan of trying to protect people's property. And also, I'm a big fan of trying to put the criminals away that try to steal people's property.
Well, it sounds like a great program. And I know that many people getting alerted at the very beginning when there is a transfer, if it is fraudulent, is very important. How does the alert system work if there was to say something recorded in the property and it was fraudulent? How would the owner get alerted?
So the way that people will get alerted, and the best way to get alerted, is through email, and I'll explain why. Not only do you get alerted by email, but you can also request to be alerted by getting a hard copy in the mail as well. But email is the best. And the reason being is because it takes time for the fraud to really become a big fraud. And it takes time for the title to get really clouded. Because the first fraudulent act is the criminal walking in and filing the fake documents. That is the first thing. But then they got to take it and do something with it. They got to obtain a mortgage. They got to evict the person from the home. They got to sell the property on Zillow. They got to do something with it. So what happens is once somebody walks in there and they file the fake deed in the property, that they can get sent that to our office basically that day. And so that day, if you have signed up for Owner Alert, you'll get an email notification very quickly. And you'll see that there's been a document that's been filed changing ownership in your property. And there is information in there about the steps you can take so you can make sure that you're not defrauded out of your property and that your title won't be clouded. It's a really good program. The other way that you can also request it, because not everybody in Broward County has access to email. Not everybody has a computer. Sometimes people want it through just the regular mail, and you can request it that way as well. Now, it's not as good that way because you're not going to get alerted as quickly as you would by email, but you're still going to get alerted, and it's going to have in there the steps that you need to take so you can protect yourself. One is calling our office. That also allows our departments to work with law enforcement. We can maybe work with your mortgage companies. I know we have a great relationship with the Legal Aid, where you all have been so wonderful in helping uncloud people's properties that have been wrongfully clouded. So there's really a whole lot of ways you can protect yourself from our Owner Alert program.
And you may have just touched on this a bit, but a homeowner signed up, they get an alert and they say, oh my gosh, this wasn't right, this wasn't me. What's the very first thing they should do, or what does your office suggest they do first?
So I always think the very first thing they should do is call the number in that to what's called our Crimes Against Property unit. So in our office, what we did is we actually set up a new unit called Crimes Against Property. They're our CAP unit. And here's who they're made up of. It's made up of our director, which at one point was second in command of the Broward Sheriff's Office. Under him, there are 2 new investigators that have significant law enforcement experience. It's also made up of a Broward Sheriff's detective that Sheriff Tony assigned directly to our office, that's actually housed in our office, and a Fort Lauderdale police officer who works with our office as well. So there's 5 of them. And it's their job to work with law enforcement to build criminal cases against people who are doing this. And so if anybody gets the email that basically says that there's been a document filed changing ownership of their property and it's not a legitimate document, call them, because they can really help walk you through the process as to what you need to do so that you can take every step necessary so that 1, we can try to get the bad guys, and also 2, so you can take the steps you need to take with your mortgage company and others to make sure that your title won't be clouded.
Well, those are very good tips on the first thing you should do if you get one of these alerts. We see a lot of senior citizens facing issues with deed fraud. Do you have any tips for senior homeowners in general, or any homeowner in general?
So my biggest tip for everybody is just be very vigilant. So over the past few months with our Crimes Against Property Appraiser team, we've actually found about 60 fraudulent deeds, and we've actually have arrested and have convicted, arrested 6 people and have convicted a few people. And what these people do, and here's the biggest common denominator amongst all of them, they are very smart. These are the type of people that if they did something legitimate, they'd be multimillionaires. Instead, they make their money by defrauding the public. And unfortunately, they pick on our most vulnerable communities. They pick on seniors. They pick on low-income folks. They pick on people that may own property here, but may not live here. They pick on whoever they can pick on where they think they can get away with it the most. And let me just give you one example. There was 2 wives, and both these wives have been convicted. And here's what they did. One of the wives worked for one of our hospital districts. The other one worked in the real estate industry. The wife that worked in the hospital district would find out when people would die. She would then take their personal information, including their social security numbers, give it to her wife in the real estate industry, who would find out if they had property in Broward County and if they had heirs here. If they had property and no heirs, they filed fake deeds in the properties. They would mortgage the properties, sell the properties. They profited in the amount of millions of dollars. Fortunately, they were found guilty recently, and something I'm very happy about, even though they're a married couple, they'll be spending their time in prison in different prisons. Now, I wanted to bring that up because it shows how smart these people are. They pick on our most vulnerable citizens. And so the best advice I can give to everybody, seniors in particular, is be very vigilant, because you are the type of person, if you're a senior, that these criminals are going to try to prey upon. And if you have any concerns whatsoever, if you get a phone call, if you get a letter, if you see that there's something a little bit weird, call our Crimes Against Property units at our office, email us, call us, and we'll try to help you out any which way that we can.
And I know that a lot of times when we get phone calls about deed transfers, it's because it was noticed, not because they weren't signed up for the alert system, but because maybe they went to go renew insurance or they went to go pay the tax bill. And that's when they're first alerted. And sometimes by then, there may have been transactions on the property that make it much more difficult to, unravel. So it seems like this early alert system would really benefit a lot of victims.
It would. Recently, the Sun Sentinel wrote an article about a 91-year-old man in a wheelchair. And unfortunately, a fake deed was filed on his property. And when he went to renew his insurance, and he's not a man with a whole lot of money. And when he spoke to the insurance company, he said, well, you don't own this property. And he said, I've owned it for decades. And it turned out, of course, somebody was trying to steal it from him. But by the time he found out, his title was very clouded, and it's going to take, I think, a lot to try to fix it. And that is why you're right. The owner alert system is so good, because if you're emailed almost instantaneously after that deed is filed or very soon thereafter, you'll be able to really take the quick steps you need to take so you can make sure that your title's really not clouded and the bad person that is trying to steal your property can't really do anything further to hurt you or your property.
So I think we're all in agreement that if you're a homeowner in Broward County, you really need to have your property set up for this homeowner alert, because while the most vulnerable can be victims, it seems like any homeowner could possibly be a victim of this.
Oh, yes, absolutely. You mind if I give you one more example of a person who was arrested recently?
Oh, go on.
There was a senior, 65 years of age, who owned a 5-acre parcel in Southwest Ranches. And the 5-acre parcel was fully paid off. There was a man not from Broward, he was actually from Miami-Dade. And what he did was he filed a fake corporation with Tallahassee. He then put the actual owner's name as the director and officer of this corporation. He then made fake IDs saying he was the owner of that property. He then filed a fake deed saying the corporation owned the 5-acre tract. And then he actually walked into a mortgage company in Broward County and basically said, listen, you know what, I'm falling on hard times. Can I please have a $500,000 mortgage, please? And they actually went to the closing, which took place at a Hialeah, Burger King in Hialeah. And the smartest person there was the notary. And the notary thought this was kind of weird. So she asked for the man's thumbprint. He gave her his thumbprint. She then sent it to us. We spoke to the Town of Davie Police Department because they police Southwest Ranches. And then we contacted the U.S. Secret Service because they handle identity theft cases in America. And unfortunately, from my understanding, the man was given the $500,000 mortgage. I believe he may have spent a significant portion of it, but he was arrested recently. And these are all allegations, but he's going to be, standing trial. But it does show everybody can be a victim from these people. And so all of us need to be very, very vigilant. So please, if you haven't signed up, it's a quick, easy process. Sign up for our Owner Alert program because it's your first step to really protecting your most important and most likely valuable asset, your property.
Thank you, Marty. And thank you for being here today to talk to us about this. And so we can get this valuable information out there, especially to the community and especially to our clients that will benefit from it. So thank you so much. Any other announcements from the Broward County Property Appraiser while we have you, especially for seniors? I know you guys have a lot of great services.
We do. You know what? Broward County has about 2 million people, and it's my understanding about a third of our population are seniors. And it's also my understanding that, unfortunately, the most impoverished portion of our population on average are seniors. And I always think if you can help a senior put a little bit more money in their pocket, they can have a little better of a life. So if there's any senior that's watching that is over 65 years of age or over, made under last year around $35,000, then they are, and they're homesteaded, they're likely entitled to what's called the low-income senior exemption, which basically means they'll get another exemption on top of what they currently get. It could save them another $200, $300, $400, $500 a year. So if you're a senior out there are a lot of exemptions, or anybody out there, please go on our website at bcpa.net, click on exemptions, and if there's something you're not getting, please let me know by September 18th so you can make sure you can save money in your property taxes. And the only other thing I wanted to bring up, Sarah, I just wanted to thank you so much and the legal aid. As I said at the beginning, I appreciate so much what you do. I know that you have dedicated your life to serving the public as a legal aid, and I cannot tell you the amount of respect that I have for the work that you do, that you all do. I think there are a whole lot of people's lives you all have made better as a result of your service. So thank you very much. I'm a very big fan.
Well, thank you for joining us today, Marty. We're a big fan of you as well. So, and I know the community appreciates the work you do.
Oh, thank you, Sarah. I appreciate that. Well, well, you're awesome. And like I said, please tell everybody there I said hi. And again, thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for watching us today. We hope you're able to take this information and it's very useful to you. If you are a homeowner out there listening, please go to the Broward County Property Appraiser website, bcpa.net. I know that I know that website well. So please go there and make sure that you sign up for the homeowner alert. If you need services from Coast to Coast Legal Aid, we can be reached online, www.coasttocoastlegalaid.org. You can click on Get Help Now and apply online, or you can call us by phone to apply. So thank you so much for everyone tuning in today.